Hello everyone, this is a follow-up video to Forman's Basement's video on a brief introduction to pre-code horror comics. The two books I have here are The Mammoth Book of Horror, and this one right here is Horror, the Horror comic books the government didn't want you to read. Even includes a little DVD here. Yeah, it's a nice, really big book here, and this one's really thick, as you can see. It's mainly in black and white. It's been sized down a bit, so some of the art really isn't gonna come through too well. As you can see, they do have a good selection here of comics from the pre-code era, and it's not bad. It's actually really well picked, and it kind of goes on into the newer era when horror kind of came back from the code, and it's a good introduction here. The first tale here is from Yellow Jacket Comics. It's an Edgar Allan Poe story adaptation. It's pretty good for what it is at the time, of course. Very tame. Uh, I mean, most of these get better. I mean, the Hitler's head here and the Weird Terror. I mean, these are great. I do enjoy the art here, and what's really nice is that they give you a good little introduction under each comic. That's just great right there. The Hitler head. I love it. Yeah, and these are just great to look at, especially for the price. You'll figure out if you're really going to be interested in these comics, because this isn't going to be the kind of volume you want in your collection. This is kind of something you have sitting around. And look at that. That's Journey into Fear. Um, yeah, see, March. Yeah, they give you a lot of details here. They handpicked some really good stories. Look at that. Black Cat Mystery. The real big downfall is that it is all in black and white, so you do lose that awesome color. Yeah, see the Dark Mysteries cover. That's a good one too. Now, most of these stories you may end up rereading again once if you do get into collecting, because like see Chamber of Chills, I've read quite a few of these stories again, but I guess it will make it better. You get to read them in color. And of course, there's the newer stuff. Some of the art gets a little bit different. Uh, I, I I I tend to stay more within the pre-code stuff. I mean, some of this isn't bad. I mean, it's pretty neat. See, 1974. Yeah. See, it changes. It gets a little different. But this isn't a bad book. I mean, look at that cover. I think that's a Wally Wood cover, I believe, for Eerie. Yeah, isn't very bad. There's more mammoth books out there, but this is the one that piqued my interest. Now the this is the best book you could probably get. It's got a lot of material on the comics code. Oh, great art when you open the book. I mean, just look at that. Sorry, the camera's a little. I'm still getting used to holding the camera with one hand. But I mean, look at that. I love that. That's so awesome. And then they do stuff like that throughout the whole book, blown up pages of the art. And sprinkled throughout you'll get stories here and there. Yeah, and you get a lot of good horror covers. I mean, and then in color too, so you get to really pour over these. Look at that. The Unseen, that's a comic I want to get in a collected volume. Their covers are so good. Beware, Unseen, those are some of the best covers I've seen. Death. You just gotta love that art. It just looks so neat, especially when blown up like that, full page. Um, Here you do get a lot of text. You will get a lot of stuff, and I don't want to spoil it, so I'll just show off a little bit more art here. I mean, look at that. That is a awesome Dark Mysteries cover. Dark Mysteries to me had some really unique covers as well. I would love to have that in collective volume. Just look at that. Almost feels a little Wally Woodish. The women. Yeah, I mean, you don't get to really read too many of these stories in here. It's mostly a lot of the covers and the talking about what happened and really describing a lot of these. See, the one problem I do have is that if they're willing to, give whole pages and then to art, but then they'll kind of just shove four in a page. Oh, that's a good cover. I think that's Don Heck. Yeah. Oh yeah, and they do talk about a bit of the crime and war comics. They need to put all that in there. Ooh, yeah, that's a good Howard Nostran. Howard Nostrand. I can't pronounce his last name. That's a good piece of art right there. Really makes you kind of sick, doesn't it? um, yeah, this one too. Oh yeah, Uncanny Tales. That is a great cover. Um, I know Forman did show off really good books in his video. He did show off like stuff that did have. I think he showed off the Chamber of Chills. Ooh, there we go. That's a good cover. Gotta bring that up. He did show off a good EC Archives book and a uh, Chamber of Chills book, and those are really good to collect. Um, and I mean, you may eventually end up rereading some of those stories. I think there's one in here. Uh, from what I can remember, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of stuff that eventually pop up if you start collecting these. Um, I think the one thing you probably won't run into are a lot of these crime comics. Like, look at this. This is one of my favorite covers, and it's not even from a horror comic. It's from a crime suspense comic. This guy cut out all these people's tongues, and they're just pouring over his hand, falling to the floor. I mean, look at that. That you don't get that anymore. That's just really good. That's really good stuff. Um, but yeah, Foreman really got me wanting to make this video as kind of like to see. I mean, you could just go up and pick up an EC Archives or a Harvey Horrors Collected, but you could go up and pick one of these books and get really, really good art like this. Like, geez, like that is amazing. And you can really pour over the text and everything and see if maybe these comics are for you. And granted, a lot of these have not been in collected works and have not been restored, but there is some stuff in the works that do bring these back out. PS Art Books, the ones that do the Harvey Horror Collected, do a lot of collected works, but most of the time the art hasn't been restored, and you'll kind of just get like poorly scanned, like the poorly inked scans, but for the most part they do pretty good. They do have like this. They do have a bunch of Tomb of Terror, the Chamber of Chills, Witch's Tales, Black Cat Mysteries. They do have all of those nicely printed. I do say get one of these. Get either the Horror, the comic books the government didn't want you to read, or the Mammoth Book of Horror. They're very inexpensive. Shouldn't run you any more than $15 on Amazon, and you get really really good stuff for the price. I mean, I can reread these books over and over again. I mean, look at this. Just love that art. Oh, and yeah, there's a DVD that comes with this book. I do have it. I'll try to pull it out here from the side. It's be a little tough with one hand. It does come with a nice little file. I may upload it in better quality. I don't think someone has it. But here it is. Yeah, it's got nice art on that disc too. Yeah, this is just a great overall buy, especially if you're already interested in the medium. But yeah, this is just a great beginner's introduction. Kind of, if you're gonna get into these comics, this is what you want to look at. That way you don't spend your money on bigger collected works and you just eventually kind of regret. Because not every pre-code horror book is amazing. But yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, for what you get for at least under like what $10 to $15, it's a great book. Very inexpensive, and they make for great reading if you don't really want to pull out your expensive ones. So yeah, this is just a beginner's guide. I may make more videos in the future, mainly more on probably just single collected works. But that's it. Later.